Are we live? Are we live? Are we? You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my headphones down because they are cranking in my ears. How we doing? It's the South of the Border live show.
Are we live, though?
Are we live?
Are we live? Yeah, people need to let us know if we are live. So let us know it's live. It's the Giants Nation show at South of the Border. We've got a crowd of about 57 people, I think was the official head count out here. But people aren't telling us that we're live, so we cannot tell people that we are live. The people are saying we're live.
Max
We are
says
live.
We're live.
We're live.
All right, dude, we did it. It's Bobby Skinner, the football grump, the Cranky fan. This all started, well, one, it started with Cranky fans' obsession of this place and my obsession of this place. And we stopped for the first time in like 18 years going to the Charlotte live show. And Crank sent me a text like, we should do a live show at South of the Border. And here we are. That just kind of created itself from that. And we have headphones on and our sombreros, and we're having to like force them down on ourselves.
Well,
Both
Both are
heavy.
necessary.
Yeah, it's a drinking game. Every time we touch our hat, you all have to take a shot.
Yeah.
So go for it.
So we're gonna talk about our days and stuff at the end. We're also gonna take this is the entire show. We're gonna be like, I'm just gonna have to live with it. So I've been teasing a big announcement, and again, jokingly we have, let's see, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 people here. Jokingly have been saying we're gonna do a major announcement. Unfortunately, I think it's not a surprise, but it is a major announcement. We are naming the Football Grump the official co-host of Giants Nation show. So
Wow.
I feel like everyone knew that this was happening eventually when we just on recording episodes together, but we told ourselves we were going to announce it at the South of the Border show. And because you weren't able to be there for training camp, it's like, all right, let's wait till the official training camp's over, and then South of the Border is the best. So really excited. I don't want to get too sappy because I'm not that type of person. But I do get a lot of people who reach out and be like, hey, I'm trying to get in content and do stuff and whatever. And to speak to Grump, it's not like you guys have, thousands and thousands of listeners to your podcast, Just Giants Fan. But you guys have been doing it longer than I was doing Talking Giants, and you were doing the draft stuff. And that's how we knew each other. But the first time we really had you on for content was when the Giants drafted Aaron Robinson. We didn't know who he was. And Grump was in the chat being like, oh, yeah, Aaron Robinson. So we just had Grump on. And then it kind of went from there. And then when the whole change happened, I knew that I was going to want to co-host once the season started. I knew I could get through the summer without one. And there almost went my hat. And honestly, I kind of never really considered anybody else. So I'm really happy to have you on board as the official co-host of Giants Nation show, Grump.
I am thrilled to accept.
I knew you were cheating on me, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
Here, pull your microphone up a little bit. There we go.
Are we breaking up, or
No.
what's happening?
So Just Giants is not breaking up. We are going to go down to one episode a week on our show, Just Giants, just to manage. But it's also going to complement this show. It's going to be a little bit different. So it's not going to be the same show over and over again. So just more Giants content for you guys. So it's Cranky is so named because he is an emotional fan. And so the emotional reaction a little less analytical on that show, but it'll be a compliment to this show. And it's kind of funny because we had been doing our show since 2017, and that always stemmed from we were just getting frustrated with Giants fans' infatuation with 2016. It's like, this isn't real. Like they are scoring, they're winning games scoring 16, 17 points. Like, this is not sustainable. You guys are delusional. And we just kind of wanted to start something where it's like, why are we talking about this to each other? We'll just do a podcast, whatever. So you had found us in 2020 because of COVID. You on Talking Giants were just looking for other content creators and reached out to me. And we did that one episode where you had a bunch of content creators on, and we were happy to join there. And then we just stayed in contact, and working with you was always really, really easy. And when you broke off and started this show, I joined on just to help. I knew you were undertaking a whole huge thing, and the draft was right around the corner. So that's a really, really tall order, a tough task. And you would just like, yo, can you help me? And I was like, absolutely. And then it just kind of got to the point. It was like, do you want to just keep doing this? How is this going? So
in my initial video, I was like, I'm not even thinking about a co-host for a couple months. And then But you were one of the first people I called when I had made the decision that I was leaving John Boy Media.
Mhm.
And I was like, hey, dude, like, let's do the draft. Like, we figured out, some way to make it, beneficial, for both of us. And then I just think we were kind of, and we still are, like, we're honest with like what the deal is with this new venture for me. And, like, you're still working your other job, right? So this isn't a full-time gig for Grump. And that's something we have, can't get into details, but, a conversation I told Grump is like, dude, I bet you would want to do this for free right now, but I want to we want to reach towards a goal to make this work where you can do this, full on in a couple years or wherever. So we're working towards that. But I'm really excited. And thank you, Cranky, for lending him to me.
Well, I'm just a rich millionaire. I just do this for fun anyway. So
Yeah, you're
fine.
just you're the backer. But all right, we're gonna do some Giants talk. But really, really excited. And that's like my thing when people ask me for advice and content, I was like, just do stuff. Like, just continue doing stuff. It takes a little bit of right place, right time. Like if I had reached out to John Boy 2 months later, that's when their breakdowns would, I would have never gotten linked up with John Boy Media, right? If if I had watched Aaron Robinson, maybe this doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
No.
That was funny because I was just hanging out in the chat because was that the 2020 draft?
2021 draft.
Okay, so I was just sitting at home and I was like, oh, I watched him, got up from my computer and walked away. And, I was like in the kitchen and from the distance I heard Grump, get on here. And I'm like, is he talking to me? Like, there can't be any other Grumps. So I like run into the room and get all set up. I'm pretty sure I did that show in my underwear. So it really is right place,
peed
right
in bottles during that stream.
Yeah,
that was
true.
That was a one for the ages.
But yeah, it really is right place, right time, and it's been fun every step of the way working with you. We went to the Senior Bowl a bunch of times, so this just seemed like a seamless transition. Yeah,
and my favorite thing is the fact that we are doing this at south of the border with Pedro in the background with sombreros on, having to shove them down on our heads to make this work, and with our mustaches. Like I was like, this is perfect. So I will say, I was planning it right now. 10 years from now, we're gonna do a 10-year south of the border Grump name co-host anniversary show. Can we book that right now?
Is there any room available south of the border for us? Yeah, they said we're good.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what this place would be like? I can't even wait.
Yeah,
I'm already getting excited for it. So we're going to talk about our whole ventures at south of the border at the end, but I do want to talk some Giants. We talked about it a little bit on the end of today's show. It always felt like the Micah Parsons stuff was more real than like, your typical Terry McLaurin. Who was the other guy that was looking for a contract and got one?
Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson. And even Trey Hendrickson didn't get it. But you knew that he was staying on the Bengals.
But also Dak Prescott the year before. So
so it's like it just always felt like. But this one, for some reason, felt completely different. Like this is different. And the main thing for me was like Jerry Jones was not talking to the agent, and we're not talking about just any old agent. It's David. I might be pronouncing it right, but David Mugletta, I think his name is, who's like kind of the top, like, solo agent in the business right now, right? Like he's the guy that he's the guy that the players that know they're getting big contracts, they go to make sure they get every penny out of those big contracts. And then when Jerry wasn't negotiating with him at all, it felt like it was going towards heading towards an end. And then on top of that, Ricky, the inside source guy,
Ricky Scoops.
We're getting really deep in this. He tweeted out a couple days ago, and he's kind of made it a little boring for me NFL life, because I wasn't surprised at all, because Ricky had tweeted about the Packers thing a couple days ago. But to get talking about the Giants, I've said all season since the schedule, or said all summer since the schedule came out, like, I think Commanders week 1 is one of our more winnable games.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys still have Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and you're going to have to go tit for tat with that. But that is, again, my thing with the Commanders is that defense is untalented no matter how good the offense might be. With the Cowboys, they might be even less, talented than the Commanders defense, at least in certain aspects. Kenny Clark should help the run game. If Trayvon Diggs, what level of player are you getting on him? But I'm not worried about that matchup with Malik Neighbors at all. Like, I think it is imperative if this Giants season to be a success, for them to start off 2-0, and at the worst 1-on-1. They cannot do another season starting off 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the agent stuff, so Jerry Jones not talking to the agent, one of the things that made this feel very toxic is that Micah Parsons was very transparent with the public. Like, he just came out and said, like, this is what's happening. So I don't even know if, like, this has happened in the past with Jerry, where, you know, he negotiates one-on-one with the player to kind of, I don't know, isolate them from their agent first. And, you know, later on, it all gets sort of ironed out. But, like, it does seem that, like, every couple of years, there's a major Cowboys player that we're wondering about their contract status going into the season. So we may never know if this is just always a business tactic or not. But Micah Parsons was not playing ball. This is the first we've ever heard that this was kind of going on. I also think that's a violation of the CBA. I don't think that he's allowed to do that. But regardless, it definitely was more toxic, and it clearly worked out in a way that I don't think a lot of people would have saw coming, you know, before the offseason really started. Like, the Cowboys trading away Micah Parsons.
This feels different to me because there was always like Jerry Jones always likes to have performance art in this, and he likes to treat the Cowboys a little bit like a reality show. And if you remember the Dak Prescott, when they announced the deal, it was like that Thursday night of the first game of the year, like the kickoff.
Yeah.
Well, the Cowboys are playing in it this year, so they can't announce it then. So there was no like end goal of my big reveal of the announcement of a contract was happening for anything. So to me, it was like, this feels different. Like, this may not actually be resolved. This is not for show. So this doesn't really surprise me that much.
We were going through the first 5 games of the schedule too. If you consider the Commanders week 1 a winnable game, and if you consider, you know, the Cowboys now vulnerable, if you start considering the Chargers as being more vulnerable post a Rashawn Slater injury, you know, obviously
go 3-2. You have Spencer Rattler in that first 5 games.
Yeah.
Like, the Chargers aren't unbeatable. If I was being unbiased, I would say the Chargers are probably just going to run the ball all game on the Giants, and defensively they kind of have the perfect type of scheme that stops a Russell Wilson. But the reality is, like, they're touting Russ as this upgrade. Go start 3-2. You have 2 untalented defenses.
Mm-hmm.
You have probably the worst team in the NFL in the Saints. The Chiefs, you know, that is what it is. But the Chargers, again, are doing more with less because of the coaching and the fact that they have Justin Herbert.
Yeah, but I mean, also the upgrades that the Giants made this year are, you know, in the pass rush and in the deep game. And both of those are, you know, the pass rush can be a turnover-worthy play every time you get to the quarterback. And the deep game is chunk plays. That's explosive plays. So you may not have to be super explosive or you know, this points machine of an offense to be winning games at this point. You might just have enough of an edge to take advantage of the advantages that come your way, right?
We both said on our show back in our Pencils and Pens episodes in June, and then we did our preview in the last couple of weeks, we thought Washington was vulnerable because there's always one team that everybody is super high on from the year before, and they come crashing down to earth a little bit. And we thought Washington could be that team. And also, if you look back at their kind of inflated record last year, look at all the quarterbacks who they played. They played a collection of rookies, backups, bad quarterbacks. So, you know.
And also, the Giants almost won that game against them last year, too.
If we had a kicker.
If we had a kicker. Yeah. So,
yeah. But the point I'm making about, like, the first 5 games of the season isn't that those are easy. Like, these are easy wins.
No.
But in a schedule that's really tough, it's kind of like the last 5 games are probably, you know, the easiest stretch. But in that middle, 8 or whatever is the real tough one when you start playing the Eagles and the Broncos, and whatever other teams. That first 5 games is winnable. So if you're going to win games this year, I think it's just imperative for them to start hot, because you can't start slow, 1-4, and then like, all right, guess what? We got the Eagles 2 out of the next 3 weeks, and then we got the Broncos in there too, and whoever else.
Let's change the momentum, because every year we start off 1-3 or 0-4, and it's like hot seat. Playoffs are over, season's over. We start doing our draft reviews in October. Let's change the narrative on this team and like, let's get the hot seat cool down a little bit. Let's see what Russ can do. Get Jackson Dart ready, and we're good to go.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, I guess the one thing kind of standing in the way of a hot start possibly is Andrew Thomas able to play early on in the season?
And we recorded our mailbag today, and we lead off with that, so I don't want to get too much into that.
But it does factor in.
For the first time, I'm actually worried about if he's going to play week 1, which hurts me because he's so important, and I like watching Andrew Thomas play a lot. But again, we hit that a lot on the mailbag. So I do want to let the chat kind of lead the way, and so you guys can ask questions on what you want. There was something else I was gonna say about the announcement. Somebody in the chat made a. Oh, so I definitely tried my best to throw people off on the podcast this morning, being like, Grump doesn't even know what the like. Did you guys listen to the episode that came out today? Because I'm sure I figured everybody figured the announcement was going to be you're the co-host, and then so that's why I had to do that today. Like even Grump doesn't even know what the big announcement is.
You
So
should have teased it was me. That would have thrown everybody off.
well, we thought what would be really funny is to come on here and because everyone probably assumes that Grump is going to be the co-host and be like just right next to Grumpy and like Brandon London is the new co-host of Giants Nation show. Really excited. He's the most talented guy I've ever worked with.
And it's just like call him up and be like, "Hey, dude, you're live."
As our subscriber count goes,
just have like Grump throw a sombrero on the ground. Like, what
just
the
storm
hell?
off and start kicking stuff.
You can have like Grump in the background. You hear like telling
driving off
your
I-95
fiance,
north.
this is bullshit.
Pick me.
All right, so let's get to the. Is this in New Jersey? No, brother. This is south of the border. This is in South Carolina.
We can talk about why the hell we're even here. Like, so I've never been here before, but my family never made the like New Jersey to Florida trip. I summered north in Maine, so this was never a part. But even though we're related, we had different like upbringings entirely. This was a part of your whole childhood. Was this place?
Oh, this is it for sure. So we were a family growing up where we took vacations, but like most families in the 80s and 90s, we drove. We didn't fly to Florida. We did the 2-day drive.
Griswolds.
Yeah. Grumpy Dad, or Cranky Dad, if you're listening, you probably can relate to that. But no. So it was a 2-day trip, obviously. And this is the halfway point between New York and Tampa. And I'm a nerd and I'm very analytical. So I used to take charts of the trip, how many miles we'd gone. I used to keep a log of where every point we went to. I used to like, oh, here's this billboard. So south of the border, the first time we went, it was like, oh my God, there's 1,000 billboards for this place. Where are we? What is this? Is it Disney World? And it's better, I think, than Disney World.
I don't. You have to go look at the Twitter page and the Giants Nation Show Instagram stories because we haven't done everything, but we've done most things. We still got to go in the pool, the indoor pool that has a dome. It's called the Pedro's Pleasure Dome. But I do want to get to our activities of the day. But yeah, so like for you, it was that. For me, it was again, born in Jersey, moved to Florida, but we would go up and visit family. And like you said, it's the signs. I would say there's look at another hat sign. My dad, starts singing a song about a hat. And then I got the Pedro Christmas ornament, and that was my favorite Christmas ornament as a kid. And just kind of loved it, but we hadn't been in 18 years. Like, so I said when we came up for the Charlotte Motor Speedway live show, I wanted to stop here because I hadn't been here in so long. I specifically remember sitting in one of these, restaurants, and they have the little TV up on the top in the corner, and it was ESPN, and Michael Strahan's is not in training camp, and he's considering retirement. It's 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like vibes are terrible. Tiki just retired. Eli and Coughlin are on the hot seat. And, I remember them talking about the Giants might sign Simeon Rice to replace him, who he was kind of done at the point of his career, even though I love Simeon Rice in that Bucs defense. And then we end up going and winning the Super Bowl that year. So I just distinctly remembered that. And so I was always just kind of like a South, but it just, at some point, you stop taking, family vacations and driving, up and down the East Coast, and you start flying more. So that's how we got back. But I kind of love this place, and I've been 4 times in the last 3 months. The Charlotte show on the way up for training camp, on the way down from training camp, and then here now. So.
Yeah, and this is the first time I've ever been here, so kind of soaking it all in is a bizarre place, but like it feels like if you were like, yeah, this place started in 1951, you just like look around like, yeah, I get that. I see that for sure.
Well, me and Crank were worried that Grump wouldn't like be as all in on it as us.
Oh, I can have a good time anywhere, man.
Yeah, I know that, but me, Crank, we got the group text message, and Grump was like, "I'm here. This place is amazing." There we go.
A good analogy is like if you had a movie when you were growing up, it's your favorite movie when you're 9 years old and 12 and 13. And then you get married and you have your new wife. Like, I want you to watch Porky's. It's the best movie ever. And she's like, what is this garbage? This is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's like, you just don't get it. You didn't grow up with it. You don't get it. And I think, like, I'm pleasantly surprised, Grump, that you love it, because like a lot of people, if you brought him here, I know Cranky wife is at home somewhere right now, and she's like, yeah, this trip is for you guys, not for me.
I don't have the nostalgic connection that you have, but I get it. You know what I mean? So the thing I related to is I used to my family used to vacation north in Maine, and we went to this place that had, I'll keep this kind of brief, but there was like cabins around a lake, and there was like, you know, a central cabin with like a big hall and like pool table and like billiards and the foosball table, saying thank you, and like a mess hall and stuff. But by the time I was like, you could tell that like in 1978, that place was awesome. Like everybody went up there, no electronics, and like everyone, like they went out on the lake, went fishing, the paddle boats. By the time I went up there in the 90s, everything was like run down. Like the first thing you had to do when you moved everything in was like demouse the place. You know what I mean? So I hated it as a kid, but like I get it. Like I see the same kind of thing. It was like in its heyday, this place was probably awesome. Like and especially when you add in the context of like the family trip, and it's the halfway point, right? So it's like, this isn't your destination, but it's just your destination day one. And you get at the end of your day one trip, but you're not just staying in a motel. There's stuff to do here. There's plenty to eat. And, you know, if you're a kid, there's a reptile thing. Like there's so much here.
When I reached out to them, I was like, I know it sounds weird, but I was like, this is the perfect audience for you. It's like, you know, New York, New Jersey. Those are the people that are traveling down the I-95 to Florida. And that's kind of one of my goals with the live shows, is just when people like, I think we had a couple people come by and like take pictures and ask what's going on. And I want that to be a thing. It's just people like, why they're doing a New York Giants live show in the middle of this parking lot. So we did Charlotte Motor Speedway, Sussex County Miners. Kind of made sense because it was in New Jersey, but even the baseball, my wife was telling me the baseball players during batting practice are like, why do they have a football show here? And then now south of the border, and then we have Binghamton next summer. I'm sure we'll get some other places, but since this wasn't on purpose, since the name of the show is Giants Nation, at one point, Grump, and this is part of why I want you full time. Not just for your betterment of life, but so I can require you to travel the country with me and go state to state doing different live podcasts.
And traveling is something I like doing anyway.
Okay, so all right, so that's really I don't care about your well-being. I just want you to. I want to be able to ask you to go around the country and do shows without me being a bad person.
And then I just go along with it for myself.
Yeah. So I asked for some Giants questions because I do want to, you know, talk about it a little bit before we talk about our whole trip here. Chris, who is the weatherman on GNS? So I know who that is. I haven't decided how we're going to announce it. Or that. Also, somebody asked about the plane.
The plane?
Oh, yeah. You guys remember the 24-hour stream I did to do a plane banner?
Yeah, that's right.
So I was thinking of the message, and I'm still open to changes. And I'm not going to say what game it is. I want people to be surprised when it shows up. But I was thinking, because all of them said Mr. Mara last year, and just, it's simple. It's not hilarious, but it's just Mr. Mara, listen to Giants Nation show.
Just giving him a direct order.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's, you know.
We're encouraging better suggestions on the chat, please.
I've tried to find better ones, and the only suggestions are like, hey, Mr. Mara, why are you so terrible? Like, nope, it's a positive plane. We're not getting negative with it. It's a positive plane.
We're not 1 in 5 yet, so let's be positive.
Please give us the date of the Binghamton show way ahead of time. Yeah, we will. It's going to be sometime next summer. Don't ask Andrew Thomas questions. I know I asked for Giants questions, but we are leading our mailbag on Monday with that, and I want to save our takes totally for that. I don't want you guys getting bored. Let's see some of the Giants questions. I mean, everyone's asking about Andrew Thomas, which that would be my question too, because we haven't talked about it.
You're getting roasted for claiming Porky's is the best movie ever to a woman.
Oh boy.
When you have true love in a marriage, you can say Porky's was your favorite movie when you're 11. And if you haven't seen it, go to your local Blockbuster and find it.
This one I know will get you guys riled up. Playoff P says thoughts on the new NFL jerseys and that Nike leaked that the Giants may get one in 2027. And I'm going to see if I can like pull these up on the screen.
Grump, you go first with this one.
So I don't mind the Bills one or the Cardinals one. I can't admit to have seen all of them, I don't think. The Bills one is cool, but it also just kind of feels a little bit like a ripoff of like the white Vikings ones, right? Like a little bit, and it's like the same idea of like a cold front kind of whatever. The Cardinals ones are supposed to be like a desert storm, not the war, but like a sandstorm, I guess.
They're on the screen right now for people watching.
And okay, and that one's pretty cool, I guess. It also just looks like someone sandblasted them, and there's like speckles all over it. But it looks cool, whatever. The Jets ones are horrendous. That one I don't get at all. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the Major League Baseball City Connects ones where like
the NBA ones, they're terrible.
They're
Which
awful.
in an 82-game schedule, you can have some terrible jerseys. In a
yeah.
17-game schedule, I feel like you can't have.
Well, it's
something
also it's just like just nail it. If you're not gonna nail it, then just scrap the ideas.
Well, the Jets don't know what they want for uniform anyway. They go from their old throwbacks to the 80s to new ones to back to the 60s.
then they do black ones randomly, and
yeah, and they suck in all the uniforms there.
yeah, it's true.
This is actually a good one because we're not going to hit this on the mailbag. Mike S. Jabril Peppers got released by the Patriots today. So he says Peppers washed up like leather jackets with tassels. That's a little mean. As someone who loves Jabril Peppers, he played in that preseason game. He looked bad. Now, again, if you're bringing him in, you're bringing him in as safety 3, play the box, and I bet you could do something like that. But I was surprised at how bad he looked in that preseason game. The Gunnar Olszewski 50-yard play, that was partly because of Peppers on that. So I think you could find a role with him as, like, again, as simply a third down box safety because he does bring the freaking heat as a run defender, and he can even give you some pass rush juice.
Probably going to contribute well on special teams as well. So,
But is a 30-plus-year-old Jabril Peppers going to be playing special teams? Probably not.
well, I mean, if he's not, then he's not really. in
Does anybody
consideration.
care other than the fact he played with the Giants before? If he was played with the Lions for 9 years, would we be having this discussion now? No.
No, and I know
Yeah.
like the Odell question, the Odell stuff, but the guy I have kept on bringing back up is Isaiah Hodgins, and
I
not
agree with you
even
too.
not even because I'm like, oh, Isaiah Hodgins is the best option, but it is somebody that I know is available, and I can say he's better than the backups.
He's going to give you more
Where
than
Jabril
Jalen Hyatt
Peppers,
is going to give you.
where I can't tell you Jabril Peppers is giving you more than Belton right now, and I'm not a big fan of Belton, but it's just.
No,
I'm not sitting here telling you I've watched all of Peppers last year, and then a little bit of preseason I saw him this year was bad.
I mean, I'm not going to care if they. I'm not asking for Jabril Peppers to be here, right? They went out and they got Bo Braid. They put Raheem Lane onto the practice squad. That's how they feel. If they end up bringing Jabril Peppers in to fill that role of a Bo Braid and be like your fourth safety or special teams guy or whatever, I'm not gonna. That's fine.
No,
I'll
me
be like,
either.
it's
But I'm
cool.
not going to call for it.
No,
It's
based
probably
off of
bigger
what-
problems if we're bringing him in to be our fourth safety.
But
or just injuries.
yeah,
he is a
that's what
home-
I mean. That's a problem.
We got to replace Tommy DeVito as the hometown kid, though. So
That's true.
and I think
And Taylor Elgersma, I know you're infatuated. All the beat writers seem to think that he's just there as as an arm for wide receiver.
so. I got some
workouts.
inside information on
Okay,
that.
all
Let me just read the text message. We're going to break news on here.
Whew. This is the big reveal.
It's actually not that big
This
of
the
news.
big reveal?
Yeah, we should have thought of something fake as the big announcement. I can't believe we didn't do that. Oh, look, I just got a text from Sean Marash about the Giants Nation live show, and Evan Roberts said, I'm jealous of this. So I guess Evan Roberts, which makes sense. Evan Roberts is kind of nerdy like us.
Oh, he's way more nerdy than us.
So we got to get him on this. So
Oh,
where's
yeah.
the text? Oh, dude, we got a Cobra. I got a Cobra to stand up by singing to it.
Yo,
today.
I could
He-
not
this was the
believe this shit.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. You know, in the cartoons when it's like
With like a snake charmer, he just started mimicking the sound of whatever that instrument is, and it worked like immediately.
Yeah,
So
you do have some talent, Bobby. It's impressive.
people said I didn't, but I showed them wrong.
Nice work.
Workout went well, and they kept him and one other QB for a physical. Weren't considering QB4 before workout, but were after apparently. Now they may just say that to the guy,
True.
to make him feel good and not being like, yeah, we're really not considering you at all, and we wasted your time. But I'm just hoping for that because I would have sat in my south of the border hotel room and done a film break. I actually downloaded his film before because I wanted to watch it. And I watched like 5 plays and got busy. So I would love to give you guys a Taylor Elgersma film break.
So he was at the Senior Bowl with Jackson Dart, right? Was that this year?
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
this is-
on the he was on the opposite team of
Right.
Jackson Dart, which again he's probably not going to be good. Not even probably. He's not going to be good, but he's big. He's got a big arm, and he's just totally raw. Where it's like, this is what you put as QB4 in the practice squad. And then you see him in preseason next year, and he throws an interception, and you're like, why'd you like him? I was like, I didn't. I just wanted a chance.
So Taylor Elgersma is, coming out of Canada or whatever. I like him better than Nathan Rourke, who also was like a Canadian.
But Rourke was a former Giants minicamp invite.
Yes.
Turned Giants roster at one point.
At one point, but I think the upside is better. Look, I watched CFL a little bit. He is the BC Lions quarterback, which is my team. He's all right. I think the upside with Taylor Elgersma is there, whereas with Nathan Rourke, it's not.
We're gonna start.
Can you name another former Canadian Giant quarterback?
Former Canadian,
like from Canada or from the CFL?
From Canada.
Did he play in any Canadian leagues?
Nope.
I don't think so. Then.
Is it? I'm gonna throw this out here, and if I'm wrong, I'm gonna look really stupid. Was it the hefty lefty?
Nope.
Jared Lorenzen? Yeah.
No.
Who was it?
Jesse Palmer, Florida Gator.
Oh yeah, that's
okay.
right. I hope you guys are able to handle Long Island tomorrow.
I gave my cousin, if hopefully you're watching, I gave him 50 points. He hasn't responded yet. So.
I want to chronicle our time here in a second, but last Giants question we'll go through. Playoff P, he asked good questions. Thoughts on Corey Black signing with the Jets? That was kind of surprising. Corey Black, the Giants' 7th-round corner out of Oklahoma State, makes the initial 53-man roster. The next day, they waive him to make room for Rico Payton, who they were going to put Rico Payton on IR, and then sign Corey Black to the practice squad. He goes and signs with the Jets. Shout out, just like Corey Ballantyne did at one point. Giants, late round corner who goes to the Jets. I don't know if I haven't been paying attention to Twitter or anything in the last day because we've been a little busy with south of the border. But I've talked about people talking about bad blood or whatever. I don't know what the deal is, but why would there be? I guess the bad blood from the Giants would be like, hey, maybe he said he would sign to the practice squad, and then the Jets swooped in. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you have an opportunity to sign to a 53 roster as opposed to the practice,
but he's not
squad,
on the 53. He's on the Jets practice squad.
Right. Well,
yeah, that'd be if he signed to the 53, nobody could complain about that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's just kind of the price of doing business. If you're going to do roster gymnastics, people are going to take advantage of that. At the end of the day, there's some athleticism with Corey Black, but he had a bad preseason, and he is a 7th-round pick.
He was hurt also, and I'm not going to cry tears over losing 7th-round picks. And I also, we were kind of talking about this a little bit, more casually. Is I don't really need them to sign every 7th-round pick to the 53-man roster. If you lose a couple 7th-round picks here and there, it's it kind of is what it is. If you really value these guys, you don't expose them to waivers. And Corey Black has not shown me anything. Who the hell am I? But he hasn't shown me anything that was oh my God, they cannot expose this guy to waivers. Where it's not even a discussion. Where we can kind of talk about that with Thomas Fedoni. You can kind of talk about that a little bit with Dante Miller or whatever. Which I didn't feel that way about Corey Black. He was hurt half the time.
I wish Corey Black was still here, but the issue is because it hasn't happened for the Giants a lot because they've had bad teams, so they just keep their draft.
There you go. Yeah.
Good teams lose their draft picks all the time.
Yeah.
The Rams are not keeping every single draft pick every single year.
be more concerned about 1st-round busts like Evan Neal than 7th-round. Make it.
Yeah.
All right, let's chronicle our time here. So we got here last night. We were the last people in the steakhouse by ourselves 30 minutes before they closed.
Hold on, we were the only people.
That's
in the
true.
steakhouse
Yeah,
yesterday.
sorry, only people is what I meant to say.
So that was my fault for getting here when I got here. Was as soon as I could get here. But part of the reason why I rolled up and said that this place was awesome is that all this was lit up neon pulling in. So it's pure darkness for me. And I turn a corner. I'm like, whoa, what is all this?
And the fascinating thing about all of these neon signs, they all say something different. They have words. Every single neon sign has at least one letter where the lights don't work.
Oh,
Every one. It's fantastic.
Hold on, I was shove my hat down. So the steakhouse wasn't bad. That was actually pretty, good steak. It wasn't, top of the line, whatever, but it was good, and we all housed it. There was no complaint from me.
Well, first of all, shout out to me as the only person who went to the salad bar.
You're a little brave.
Yeah. I mean, it's 9:30 at night. It's kind of a little hot in there. I was I'm not touching the salad bar.
Cranky wife, if you're listening, it did get an A rating, so it is approved for health and hygiene.
So this morning we went to go to the truck stop to get breakfast, but they actually don't have breakfast, so it's just a regular truck stop. Went to the Waffle House down the road. and we got ourselves a nice little show. There was people doing we do the burnouts at the end of the streams. There was people doing burnouts. One guy at a Mustang tried to do a burnout, and it was kind of funny. I won't talk about too much, but like he just couldn't get that thing broken loose, so he wasn't able to do it. But it was a good breakfast. Then we did the Reptile Lagoon.
Yep.
Which we did see one alligator bite a turtle. And that turtle was missing the leg where he bit. So I think these alligators
Just
took
like
this turtle's leg.
This wasn't their first encounter.
Yeah, I think we need to alert them. Like they attacked this turtle pretty often.
Let's back up a second. Before we saw this encounter, we saw about 5 alligators that didn't move. And we were debating each one. Is that stuff?
Oh yeah, we had to sit there and be like, that's definitely fake. And we got some video of it. I'm sure we'll put it out eventually. But I'm just like, no, that's clearly fake. And then you guys see us like move his leg like a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
He's real. So I was a little disappointed just because they didn't move. But we were also there first thing in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 10 a.m.
Yeah, we got to get there when it's feeding time.
A lot of snakes.
Was $12. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about it, but I was just the snakes were pretty good. There's a snapping turtle that must have been really old. We didn't say it to your face, but we're like
as old as me. Thanks.
We were over under. Is it older than Crank? So we did our mailbag show under the bridge, and then what did we? What was next on the adventure? I can't remember.
Lunch.
We went on the hat.
Oh yeah, we went up the tower.
Which is it's what did we find out? Is it 300 feet tall?
Oh,
it was a quarter of the size. 300 feet. It's a quarter of the
Football
size of the
field.
Empire State Building.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so that's pretty damn cool, and that I think they just reopened that. So like, if you have a chance to drive by here, make sure you do that. It was $4, I think.
It was $4. Yeah, you get the nice view of nothing around here
on that side, and then you can see all of the park. And that's
if you look close enough, you can see North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about this is
That's something we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go stand in South Carolina, pee in North Carolina. I forgot that we were supposed to do that. So drink your body on our waters.
Oh, geez, I peed before we did this.
The one thing about the hat, as opposed to the Empire State Building, is this does not turn green when the Eagles win. So I like this one a whole lot better. Than
I think even
Empire
if they
State.
wanted to, the lights probably would turn off.
That's true. Only one would work.
There's
so.
a lot of Giants Nation show stickers on there too. So we did hat, lunch. Lunch was pretty good at the Sombrero Room.
Yeah, surprisingly good.
Really good burger. And then are you hiring that guy you had a meeting with?
I can neither confirm nor deny any
Okay.
personnel moves. But one thing was interesting. I did get carded for my Coke.
Yeah, you did.
I did. She's like, you kind of look it, but I do need to see your IDs. I'm like, but I'm getting a Coke. She's like, I know. I'm like, okay. South Carolina, ladies and gentlemen.
My friend's a little slow. It's that way.
Yeah.
So we did lunch. Then we did the fireworks stand
For Pedro.
So
that is not a fireworks stand.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's just
that's
it's
like
a big,
an outlet.
It's a fireworks emporium.
Yeah, it's legit. It's just a legit fireworks store. Oh, we did the gift shop this morning too. We got our sombreros and everything we needed.
Oh, we've been wearing these nonstop all day today.
All I can say is, Cranky family, wait till December 25th in your stockings.
Oh yeah, it's just gonna be nonstop south of the border stuff. What did we? So we did that. We did the tower.
Arcade.
I got some fireworks. I kind of wanted to do them at the end of the show, but then I'm like, these people have been so nice to us and let us do a show. I don't want to have them like, what the hell is going on? And it's during
you
the
could
day.
just save them for first Giants victory and just,
Well,
sounds good. We'll do them in my
there
house.
There is a shelf life, Grump. We don't want to waste them either. So.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
It's going to be in a week.
We played arcade games in the arcade.
We did.
Yeah, the arcade is legit.
Cranky is a very good Mrs. Pac-Man player.
Well,
Or
because
Miss Pac-Man.
it came out when I was 7 years old, so I lived it.
That was probably the best I've ever played at basketball at one point.
Yeah, hey, Bobby, who won the Papa Shot between me and you?
Grump did really good in the Papa Shot.
Yeah, I think my high
People
score was
don't
82.
realize Papa Shot is terrible for tall people because you can't shoot with any arc.
No.
And it's just like, what do I do here? It's like, so I actually use the glass because I'm like, this is the only way I can't shoot with arc or it's going to hit the ceiling of the thing. But you did good in that. I hit the jackpot on that little game first try, which that was nice. So yeah, it's been good. And I'm sure we're going to keep we're doing a live show in the parking lot with all 57 people. I think 2 people left. So I think we're down to 55. But as we go, I'm excited. So, and this is a little bit of like what to expect as the season goes on. Is not this. I'm not saying this is what you're going to get. And that's something
See you
I've
guys
been
in a week.
I've been very conscious of is as we do these live shows, is that these will never replace a podcast episode, except for once every summer they will replace the podcast episode. But I also want these to be able to fun and be goofy and not being like, oh, we have to be serious because I understand that 95% of the audience does not care about this. They just want Giants podcasts and film breakdowns. So these will always be like YouTube only things. And now we know how to live stream like wherever we want to. So that's good. So this week it's Monday mailbag, Friday preview. Again, we got to announce the weatherman this upcoming week. I haven't decided how I almost did it sponsoring a NASCAR and Daytona. And then I was like, this is just a total freaking waste of money. I can't do this. So, and then it goes, the podcast schedule is Sunday night / Monday. Almost lost my hat. Is recap. Wednesday mailbag, Friday preview, a weekly film video on either Monday nights or Tuesday mornings. The first week will be the O-line report, but the O-line report's not a weekly thing this year. We're going to have the Jordan Renan Breaking Big Blue on Monday nights. And then the regular film reviews will be Patreon only. So I'm really excited for this season. We're this is our last hoorah before we, just go nonstop. Especially you. You travel like a madman going to all the Gators games. And
I'm on my
Giants
way
home
down
games.
to Gainesville at 5 a.m. tomorrow, so I got to get that cranked up also.
Let's see if there's anything else before.
Well, I mean, I also want to thank South of the Border. They've been really accommodating with all of this. This is cool. Just doing this with this.
Yeah, they gave us these cones you could see.
Yeah. They blocked off this whole section for us. They've just been nice. It was cool, and I would like to make this a thing that we do again in the future. Is come back here because this was fun.
Yeah, definitely. So, and not every place will let you just like, hey, set up in your.
Well, especially something so unrelated to their business.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the goal of the live shows is to be completely unrelated to the location.
Well, I was just talking to the grandson of the founder of South of the Border before we went on, and I say, he's like, Giants, that's New York, right? I'm like, yeah, because everybody who listens is from the majority of the New York, New Jersey area.
Yeah,
that's
there
your
has to be
audience.
at least one Giants fan that came by here. So people,
we did find out that the landscaper guy was a Cowboys fan and was very pissed off about Micah Parsons.
oh, you were trying to like talk him down, like, well, you got to see those. And I walked out, I was like, no, you're screwed. He's like, that's what I'm saying.
I was trying to make him feel a little bit better. I mean, I didn't want to shit all over his day.
I did. All right, so if you did miss it, Grump is the official co-host of Giants Nation show. Huge surprise. Nobody saw that coming. What gave it away? Was it every player profile? Was it the other, 15 episodes? I'm not sure, but we're going to close this out. We're going to enjoy our night at South of the Border. Hey, if you're in the Darlington race, come see me. I'll be there too. So we will see you guys on Monday for our mailbag episode. Until then, let's go. Until then, let's go big